Recruitment marketing is often measured at the top of the funnel: impressions, clicks, career page visits, and application volume. Those numbers are useful, but they can hide the more expensive problem. Qualified people may be entering the funnel and quietly leaving before a hiring team ever has a serious conversation with them. That loss is not always caused by a weak employer brand or a talent shortage. It often comes from small disconnects between stages: a social post that promises one experience, a career page that describes another, an application that takes too long, an interview process with no clear timeline, or an offer stage silence that gives a competitor time to move faster. In my recruitment work with growing companies, I often see teams invest more money in sourcing before checking whether the existing funnel can keep good candidates engaged. More traffic cannot repair a broken journey. It simply sends more people into the same leaks. A recruitment marketing funnel is only as strong as the handoff between one candidate decision and the next. This article explains 7 common leaks, the signals that reveal them, and practical fixes that marketing, talent acquisition, and hiring managers can implement together. First, stop treating the funnel as a job advertising report. A recruitment marketing funnel should map the decisions candidates make, not only the channels employers use. A practical funnel includes 6 stages. 1. Awareness. The person becomes aware of the employer. 2. Interest. The person decides the company may be worth exploring. Consideration. The person evaluates the role, culture, leadership, and risk. 4. Application. The person invests time and personal information. 5. Evaluation. The person experiences screening, interviews, assessments, and communication. 6. Commitment. The person accepts, joins, and confirms that the promise matched reality. Aspiration Marketing's overview of what recruitment marketing is and why it matters explains why hiring teams need to attract and nurture candidates instead of relying only on vacancy advertising. The next step is to measure whether people can move through that journey without unnecessary friction. The labor market makes this especially important. SRM's 2025 Talent Trends research found that 69% of organizations still experience difficulty recruiting for full-time roles. Among organizations facing difficulty, 51% reported a low number of applicants, and 41% reported candidate ghosting. Those findings suggest that employers have both an attraction problem and an engagement problem. Here are the leaks to examine. Leak 1. Awareness content tries to speak to everyone. The first leak begins when employer brand content is too broad to help the right person recognize themselves. Posts such as "We are hiring," "Join our amazing team," or "Great opportunity available" may produce reach, but they rarely answer the questions that matter to a specific candidate. What type of work will I own? What will I learn? Who will I work with? What problem is the team solving? Why is this opportunity different from similar roles? What evidence supports the culture claims? Generic content creates generic attention. The result may be a large audience with weak intent. How to repair it? Create candidate personas with the same discipline marketers use for buyer personas. The objective is to replace assumptions with a practical view of the people each role needs to attract. For each priority role family, document career stage, typical current role, desired next step, main reasons for changing jobs, common concerns, preferred information sources, questions asked before applying, evidence needed to trust an employer. Then create content for those decisions. A senior engineer may care about technical autonomy and architecture ownership. A first-time manager may care about coaching support. A sales professional may need clarity on territory, quota design, and lead quality. Metrics to watch. Do not judge awareness content only by reach. Compare the percentage of visitors from each campaign who view a relevant job, return to the career site, join a talent community, or start an application. Leak 2. Employer brand claims lack proof. Candidates have learned to recognize polished language that says very little. People first, fast-paced, innovative, and collaborative appear on thousands of career pages. The problem is not the words themselves. The problem is the absence of proof. A strong employer brand should communicate a credible employee value proposition. When the public message is disconnected from employee reviews, interview behavior, leadership communication, or the actual role, candidates experience a trust gap. How to repair it? Replace broad claims with observable evidence. Instead of saying, "We support career growth," show a typical progression path, skills employees can develop, internal mobility examples, learning budgets or programs. How often do development conversations happen? Stories from employees who moved into new responsibilities. Instead of saying, "We value flexibility," explain whether the role is remote, hybrid, or on-site, which hours require overlap, how teams collaborate across locations, whether flexibility differs by role, what equipment or support is provided. Employee-generated stories are especially useful when they are specific. Ask employees to describe a real decision, project, challenge, or learning moment, rather than providing a scripted testimonial. Metrics to watch. Track which employer brand pages candidates visit before applying, and compare application completion, interview acceptance, and offer acceptance by content exposure. Also, monitor the themes candidates mention during interviews. If people repeat your intended value proposition in their own words, the message is becoming clear. Leak 3, the career page, hides the information. Candidates need. A candidate may like the brand and still leave because the career page makes it difficult to evaluate the risk. Common gaps include no salary range, vague location expectations, unclear reporting line, no description of the hiring process, benefits listed without eligibility details, responsibilities copied from an internal job description, long paragraphs with no practical examples, no indication of when the vacancy was posted or updated. Marketing teams sometimes optimize career pages for inspiration, while candidates need decision-making information. A successful page has to do both. How to repair it. Build each job page around candidate questions, not the company's internal approval template. A useful structure is 1. Why the role exists. 2. What the person will own. 3. What success looks like in the first 6 to 12 months. 4. Essential and preferred capabilities. 5. Team and manager context. 6. Compensation and benefits. 7. Location and schedule expectations. 8. Interview stages and expected timeline. 9. Accessibility or accommodation information. 10. A clear application call to action. Aspiration Marketing's article on recruitment marketing trends for 2026 emphasizes that candidates research an employer's culture, mission, and reputation before applying. The job page should connect that research to a concrete employment decision. Metrics to watch. Measure job page to application start rate, scroll depth, repeat visits, and exits after key sections. Compare performance across role families rather than relying on a single company-wide benchmark. Leak 4. The application demands too much too soon. Starting an application is a high-intent action. It is also where many employers create the most friction. Candidates may be asked to create an account before seeing the full process, re-enter information already included in a resume, complete long questionnaires with no explanation, upload documents that are not needed at the first stage, answer essay questions on a mobile device, provide salary history or sensitive information too early, complete an assessment before speaking with anyone. Every additional field is a request for trust. If the employer has not yet earned that trust, the candidate may leave. How to repair it. Audit the application from a mobile phone and time it. Then classify every field as required for initial screening, useful later in the process, required only for compliance, not used in decision-making. Remove or postpone anything unnecessary at this stage. Explain the process before the candidate begins. State the expected time, required materials, number of steps, and what happens after submission. Save progress automatically where possible. Automation can help, but it should reduce effort rather than add invisible gates. Aspiration Marketing's Guide to Using Recruitment Automation to Improve the Candidate Experience provides practical examples of how to use systems to support communication and workflow. Metrics to watch. Track application starts, completions, time to complete, device type, error rate, and abandonment by field or page. A high volume of starts with low completion is not a sourcing problem. Leak 5. Evaluation. Feels like a black box. Once candidates enter the screening and interview stages, recruitment marketing does not stop. Every interaction becomes evidence about the employer brand. Silence, duplicated questions, unprepared interviewers, unexplained assessments, and changing timelines weaken trust. This matters even when the candidate is still interested. LinkedIn's Future of Recruiting research found that 89% of talent acquisition professionals expected quality of hire measurement to become increasingly important, but only 25% felt highly confident in their organization's ability to measure it. That gap is a reminder that hiring teams need consistent evaluation criteria, not simply more interviews. How to repair it? Give candidates a process map that includes interview stages, purpose of each stage, expected duration, names or roles of interviewers, preparation requirements, assessment format, decision timeline, contact person for questions. Internally, assign a competency to each interview stage. Avoid asking every interviewer to assess fit. Define what evidence should be collected, how it will be scored, and who owns the final decision. Communication should continue even when there is no decision. A short update, such as "We are completing the final panel and expect to update you by Thursday," is more trustworthy than silence. Metrics to watch. Measure time between stages, interview rescheduling, candidate withdrawal, response time, feedback completion, and candidate satisfaction by stage. Break the data down by hiring manager and department to identify operational bottlenecks. Leak 6. Content and recruiter conversations. Tell different stories. Marketing may promote autonomy, while the recruiter describes a highly controlled environment. The career page may promise rapid growth, while the hiring manager cannot explain progression. A social post may celebrate remote work, while the interview reveals frequent office attendance. These contradictions are more damaging than an imperfect message because they suggest the employer does not understand its own offer. How to repair it? Create a recruitment messaging brief for each priority role. It should include role purpose, candidate value proposition, evidence supporting each claim, non-negotiable expectations, frequently asked questions, approved compensation language, known challenges, reasons people succeed or struggle, statements that should not be used. This is where marketing and talent acquisition should work as one team. Content marketing can attract the right audience, but recruiters and hiring managers must continue the same story. Aspiration Marketing's article on content marketing in recruitment explains how relevant content supports talent attraction. Message consistency determines whether that interest survives the process. Metrics to watch. Review candidate questions, offer objections, new hire survey responses, and early attrition interviews. Repeated surprises indicate that the public message and the actual role are misaligned. Leak 7. Offer acceptance is treated as the finish line. A candidate who accepts an offer has not stopped evaluating the employer. The period between acceptance and joining can include notice periods, counteroffers, background checks, documentation, relocation, and uncertainty about the first day. When communication becomes quiet, competitors and current employers have room to reopen the decision. How to repair it? Design a pre-boarding communication sequence that is helpful rather than promotional. It may include confirmation of completed and pending steps, a realistic background check timeline, first day details, manager welcome message, team introduction, required documents, equipment or system setup, relocation guidance, a contact for questions, optional culture or product content. Do not overwhelm the new hire with generic emails. Every message should reduce uncertainty or help the person prepare. Metrics to watch. Track offer acceptance, offer to start withdrawal, background check delays, documentation completion, and first day attendance. Review the reasons for withdrawal in the same way a marketing team reviews lost opportunities. Build one funnel dashboard across marketing and recruiting. The biggest measurement mistake is separating marketing data from recruiting outcomes. Marketing may report reach and clicks. Talent acquisition may report applicants and hires. Hiring managers may focus on interview performance. HR may track early attrition. Each view is incomplete on its own. Create a shared dashboard with stage-level metrics. Awareness of career site visit to job page view to application start, application from start to completion, application to a qualified screen, screen to interview, interview to offer, offer to acceptance, acceptance to start, start to 90-day retention. Add time, source, role family, location, and hiring manager dimensions. The purpose is not to create a perfect attribution model. It is to identify where qualified people stop progressing and whether the loss is caused by message, process, speed, or role fit. Use conversion rates carefully. A lower application rate can be healthy if clearer content discourages unsuitable applicants while increasing the percentage of qualified candidates. Volume is not automatically successful. A 30-day funnel repair plan. A complete transformation is not required to find meaningful improvements. Start with one high-priority role family. Week 1, map the candidate journey. Document every page, message, form, interview, assessment, and waiting period. Include the owner and expected time for each step. Week 2, review evidence. Collect funnel data, candidate questions, withdrawal reasons, employee review themes, and recruiter feedback. Identify the 3 largest or most damaging leaks. Week 3, fix the transitions, update the job page, reduce unnecessary application fields, create candidate communication templates, and define interview ownership. Week 4, launch and measure. Compare the revised funnel with the previous 4 to 8 weeks. Monitor both conversion and candidate quality. Ask recent candidates what felt clear, confusing, respectful, or slow. Repeat the process quarterly. Recruitment marketing changes as roles, labor markets, technology, and candidate expectations change. Fix the journey before buying more traffic. Recruitment marketing is not only the work that happens before an application. It is the complete sequence of experiences that helps a person decide whether to trust an employer with their career. When qualified candidates disappear, the immediate response is often to publish more ads, increase sourcing, or add channels. Those actions may be necessary, but they should follow a funnel review. Start by finding the leak. Is the content attracting the wrong audience? Are employer brand claims unsupported? Is the job page missing decision-critical information? Is the application too demanding? Does evaluation feel unclear or slow? Are teams telling inconsistent stories? Does communication stop after offer acceptance? Repairing those transitions can improve candidate quality, recruiter productivity, and hiring outcomes without increasing top-of-funnel spending. The strongest recruitment marketing strategy is not the one that generates the most attention. It is the one that helps the right people move from curiosity to commitment with clarity, evidence, and respect.